Thank you to those who asked questions on my last post. Just to update you guys, I was 27 when I was diagnosed with this dissociative identity disorder. I worked for years with a therapist and came to a place of wholeness, wellness. I blended, I integrated, I am whole, and I kept it secret for 20 years and did not want to tell anyone, but I just feel in my heart that I'm supposed to share it. I'm supposed to give hope that there can be joy found even when everything looks dark and hard and miserable and you don't think you can go on for another day. And those of you on my last post, when I was talking about what it looks like to be dissociative, asked me a question if I ever had time lapses or times that I didn't know that I was there. And what I understand about disassociation, the reason why they changed it from multiple personalities to dissociated identity disorder is because everyone dissociates. Everybody. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're driving to work and you're daydreaming and you're thinking somewhere and you show up at work and you're like, oh, I don't even remember the drive. Like, because it's a habit. You do it every day. Your body just goes to work and your brain goes somewhere else. That's dissociation. A lot of people have that. They call that like a 1 or a 2 on the dissociation scale. Now, there are some that have DID that are at a 10, and that is they black out for hours, days, weeks, months. I've even known cases for years that the main host just disappears and someone else takes over. I was not at a 10. I would guess my schedule on that scale was probably around an 8. Most of the time, even if the other parts were present, I was aware of it. I couldn't do anything about it, but I was aware and watching what was going on. Now, for me, time lapses, I do believe in the beginning I had time lapses. I know when I shared my story, I went to a counselor for a while until I felt betrayed by some things that had happened. I don't remember one of those visits. I actually remember a section of one of those visits when they told me to have a conference in my head, and I looked at them like, what are they talking about? Like, but out of 6 months of being with them, I only remember like one visit. So I know I took off and I am not sure who talked to them. I didn't even know I was diagnosed at that time. And then after my diagnosis, when I knew there were parts and I started going to therapy, there were moments, I would say maybe hours, that I knew where I was, but I don't remember being there. Like I gave an example of I stayed at a retreat weekend with a friend and we went to sleep, and when I woke up in the morning I was sitting on the bed talking to her and she's like, do you know you slept in the closet last night? No. So apparently I did go away. I know in the beginning when I had therapy, they would come talk to the counselor, they would talk to Leah, and I would disappear. I was not ready to hear what they had to share. So my case was much smaller. I didn't have very long times of blacking out, and I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So thanks again for asking it, and if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I will answer it as best I can from my set of knowledge. Thanks for listening to my story, and there's so much more to come.